Hello, I'm PJ Bishop, and welcome to my channel. And as you can see, we had quite a month of June. Currently sitting at 42 and 41, finally a winning record, and we are in one of the wild card spots. So it's been fantastic for us. We did get healthy, which helped. So getting two pitchers back and getting our center fielders and left fielder back also helped. But now things are turning a little bit. If you look at the injury list, we did lose Brandon Nemo. Even though it was a day-to-day injury, it was going to last for 2 weeks, and I don't like to play guys that are hurt, considering that he's already fragile as is. So I didn't want to expand on his injury proneness and have him get hurt some more. And then also, Pete Alonso ended up breaking his foot, so he's out for a while. But it's not like we're missing much. Still, for the most part, struggling. As you can see here, his average is still well below 200. Home run, he did pick up the home run pace, but now he's going to be out, so I don't know if he'll even get to 20 this year. It's been a really weird, disappointing season, considering that he's not that bad. I mean, it's not like he has if you look at his avoid Ks in his eye, they're not bad. His contact isn't bad, so to have him this far down in average is just odd. And he's not really hitting home runs either for somebody with 65 power. So it really is odd. So it's kind of stinks. But we are down two starters now. So hopefully things won't drop off, because it's been really quite a ride this past June. If you look at the schedule, you can see here at one point I think we wound up with 8 straight wins, starting here with this Miami series. I was extremely excited because we got to the game against San Diego. Now, San Diego has like 40-something wins at the time. So and we ended up sweeping them. Shut them out in the first 2 games. So it was the defending World Series champions, beat them 2 out of 3. And then kind of went again on a bad streak again. Got swept by Chicago. Then lost a close one to New York, and then won the next one. Then we beat Houston 3 straight. So kind of back in the win column again. Enough to finish the month off right. Just in time for the series against Washington. But I believe last time we played against Washington, we struggled. As you can see, where was it? I think we struggled against them last time. Yeah, we ended up kind of getting pummeled the last game there. Thought it was going to be an easy series. Won the first one and then lost the second one, and then just got destroyed on the third game. So I can't say it's easy against Washington. They're kind of like us. They're bad, but they could turn things around. They have some talent there. So it is exciting. This is why I say baseball is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So don't get discouraged if you start off losing and falling behind. As long as you're not in the 30s win percentage, for the most part, within the first 2 months, you should be able to right the ship and catch up. Because it could be injuries. It could just be guys starting off really slow. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes your star players just aren't hitting yet. But once they kick in, because it's all about the law of averages, once they kick in, that's when you'll start seeing better results. You can start stringing off those 8 wins in a row. Because baseball is like this. If you can win every 10 games, if you can go 6-4 or 7-3, you got a chance to win anywhere from 97 to 100-something games. So that's kind of the goal. You don't have to win 8 in a row, 9 in a row. Just 6-4, 7-3, within that range, 5-5 at the worst, will get you to high 90s, possibly a division crown, and the wild card. So, but now we're over halfway through the season, and we're looking. Or is it just halfway? It's 162 games. We're at 83 games. So yeah, I would say that's halfway, right? Because that'll be 166. So halfway point, and we're looking like we're a playoff caliber team, which I thought we were thanks to the fact that the NL is still pretty much a big jumble here, aside from San Francisco, Washington, and Philadelphia. And even then, you can't write them off. It's still only midway through, so this is not insurmountable. But so many teams vying for that last spot. I mean, look at this. That's insane. How many of us are just basically the same team? That's why anytime you play against somebody like that's in our division or in the wild card, like close to us, like if we have a series against Milwaukee, it is imperative that we sweep them. I think we had a tough time against Chicago, which stinks because we let them catch up. So it's imperative to beat those teams. Even though it doesn't show here, again, on paper it doesn't look good, or on statistically wise it doesn't look good. But I like my team. I like my lineup. There are a couple of new names here because of the injuries, so you might start seeing some guys that you haven't seen before. But despite this, I think because we're able to hit home runs at about middle clip here, and of course we can steal bases and run the bases very well, that's going to help us generate runs that we might have not had. So you got to figure out a way to get runs if your guys are struggling to hit for average or get on base. But Peter Alonso's kind of hurting that. But he's only one guy, so I can't really blame him for everything. But things are looking good, so I'm happy. It's a lot easier to be happy when you're winning. Because when I was losing, I was getting a little discouraged, thinking, what's going on here? Let's take a look at our pitching rotation. Oh, before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the pitcher rotation. So Cody is playing well now, settled in. He's down to a 3.13 ERA. Still a losing record, but what I like is he's striking guys out at a home run rate is what's killing us. I think the home run rate is killing all my pitchers. They're all just giving up way too many home runs. And it's almost like they're just happy about it. Like there's some bonus if they give up a home run every game, like free tacos from Taco Bell if our pitcher gives up a home run. And they're like, okay, free tacos for everybody. But he's playing on it. Still, I wish it would be a little more consistent, not give up the home runs. See, I mean, if you look at the last 5 games, 3 given up. But he is getting some strikeouts. Racked up 11 here, getting 9 there. No worse than 6. So he is a strikeout machine. Did lower his ERA. Actually, it's getting lower and lower every single game. So eventually, it's going to turn law of averages. Jose Quintana, I actually ended up giving him a contract extension, signed him through 2028. Even though he's not my style of pitcher, he's playing well. Well, he was when I gave him the contract extension. But recently he's kind of, this game really hurt against the Cubs. 7 earned runs against the Cubs. Last game, 3 earned runs. As you can see here, 6 here, 3 there. So he's kind of been inconsistent the last few games, but still an average ERA there. Ended up signing him through 2028. It's a player option, though. I did my famous little... I'd rather pay for the guy up front and eat the money now than later. It also makes them easier to trade when their salary is smaller. When he's being owed $12 million, it's hard to pull off a trade. Not every team can eat $12 million in salary, and not everybody wants to have a veteran that's getting paid that much. So sometimes you got to think ahead and think what kind of salary will actually be tradable. Because who knows how good he may or may not be in his late 30s. To me right now, he's more of a placeholder until we get better pitchers. If we ever do get better pitchers. I don't know if he'll retire with me or not. But I think he earned the extension for now. Number 3 is David Peterson, still shaking off some rust with the 60. I mean, he started off pretty good, and then just recently, again, it's the home runs. 2 here, 1 here. That's what's killing us. Giving up those home runs, 8 earned runs and 5 earned runs is really going to hurt you, especially when you can't even make it past the 4th inning or 5th inning. I think his last game was the first quality game he had. Quality start. Quality starts is 6 innings. That's what qualifies for a quality start. But hopefully this month he can settle in and get this more to a normal rate. I think it's inflated because it's only been 23 innings. I think once he plays more games, we'll see where he's settling into. Because I still think he can be a pivotal part of our playoff run, or at least our wild card run. I mean, trying to keep this position here. Number 4, and the guy that I'm most surprised about is Adrian Hauser. 8-6 with a 3.17 ERA, which is really good. Made fun of him in the beginning of the year, but he's not bad because he's only $5 million. So for $5 million, he's really outperforming his contract. But every time he's out there, he does scare me because he doesn't seem to be like dominating. He's just kind of somehow just avoiding trouble. He's just been good enough to get the wins. As you can see here, he goes pretty deep. 6 innings in pretty much every start. Does have a tendency to start giving up some home runs. But he's hanging around. He's inconsistent with his strikes. You see, he got 9 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 2 strikeouts. Not really a strike. 8 per 9. Not giving up the home run ball. So that's kind of a new thing here. Pretty good whip. So that's actually a really good whip. 1.19 is what you could expect for a good starter like him. That's all-star worthy this year. And then Jose Butto. He's kind of confusing here. He got destroyed for 13 runs here. Yeah, I left him in. I said, you know what? After he gave up like a grand slam or something, I was like, you know what? You're going to stay in here because my bullpen at the time was already tired. I was like, I'm not going to put more stress on my bullpen. You're just going to eat these runs. And he did. Somehow he gave up 13 runs while only 6 were earned. I'm not sure how he avoided 6 of those, over half his runs. He kept his ERA down, I can tell you that much. But he always does a nice job and he recovers, and he'll give me some really good games, as you can see here, because he'll get some decent strikeout numbers too. He's been solid, considering he's only a 2-star player and there's nothing like phenomenal here. But for some reason, he's able to perform, and that's all I care about. Let's see. I did end up calling Cole Sulser back up. I think I ended up trading away Austin Adams, and I ended up calling Cole Sulser up. In his little short stint that he did have with us, he's currently walking around with a 16.88 ERA. So right now he's strictly mop-up duty. I'm not really relying on him to do anything. Because our looks like my bullpen is finally starting to settle in. My more reliable middle relievers here with their ERAs, good ERAs, and good strikeout rates. These guys here, I wish they were a little better. But you got to imagine you have eight arms in a bullpen. To have all 8 play at a really good level is going to be tough. But at least my high leverage guys down here are playing well. Edwin Diaz is getting his ERA back down to really good. 17 saves, striking out a ton of guys. These guys aren't strikeout artists, but they are keeping the runs down, especially Yaxel Rios. Very surprised. Just some old veteran on our team that was just hanging around in the minor leagues. And he's actually got a better ERA in the majors than he does in the minors, which is kind of weird. Just a home run. He's not giving up as many home runs. He's not walking as many. He's not striking out as many either. But he's not giving up runs, which is all that matters. And then the lineup, it's a little different. But Second baseman, Jeff McNeil, back to leadoff because he's got that 310 average. And surprisingly, he's like what? He's third in my RBIs, which he's like sneaky in there. I don't know how he does it. I don't even remember him being in that many games to get that many RBIs. But when the guys are there to score, he knocks them in. I mean, he's solid. I'm able to slide him from second to left base quite a lot, and third base when I need him. But with that average, looking good. And he's stealing bases now. 27 stolen bases. He's just a real solid hitter for us so far. One of the reasons why we're playing well. Our first baseman, and now he's going to be first baseman for quite some time since Peter Alonso's out for about 3 weeks. Luke Ritter. But honestly, he's been outplaying Peter all season. Not as many home runs. That's not his thing. He's got average pop. But he's getting on base. He's hitting just enough to stay relevant. Because he's not doing anything outstanding, but he's not doing anything too bad either. And he's also able to steal bases. Currently, he has 10 stolen bases. Did get caught 4 times. So he's not as efficient at it as I would like. But he is capable of being a little threat. But his defense is a little better than Peter's at first. Batting number 3, center fielder Harrison Bader. So not only is he an elite hitter or elite defender, he's also playing pretty darn good offensively. OPS in 841, which is well above average, or it's above average. Average is sitting at 284. He's on pace for 64 stolen bases. Home runs, I think if he played more, he would have definitely hit 20. So he would have been part of that 2060 club. Although Ronald Acuna last year made a new club, the 40-70, 40 home runs, 70 stolen bases. That's insane. But Harrison Bader playing elite defense, playing really good offense. Can't be happier. Number 4, cleanup is Mark Vientos. This guy right here, his 13 home runs. The thing that's weird about his 13 home runs, I don't know if there's a clutch thing in here, because there's no clutch situation. There's no trait that says how good you are in a clutch, unless it's something behind the hood that we don't know about, or it's part of your intelligence, work ethic. I don't know how you would factor that in. But his home runs, every time he hits a home run, we're either down by 1 and it's a 2-run shot, or it's a tied game and it's a solo shot. He seems to always put me in the lead with it. I think maybe he's had 1 or 2 useless home runs. And by useless, I mean we're up by 5 or 6, 7, 8. And it's the bottom of the ninth, top of the ninth, and he's just cracking home runs just to crack a home run. The majority of the time, it seems like he's hitting home run when I need a home run. Right when I think he's slowing down, he's not doing anything, boom, home run. I'm like, oh, there you go, Mark. So he's playing really well, considering that I wasn't expected this good play from him. On pace for 25 homers. Average is more somewhere where you would expect a slugger to be, so he's definitely playing more like a heavy bat. Which out of third base you expect? Maybe as he matures, you can see that home run rate rise a little more. And perhaps it can draw some more walks as well. Because his eye is still pretty far from developed. So is his Ks. So you figure his walk rate will rise, his K rate should drop, and that might even help him with his home run. Instead of striking out, he might be able to get some more hits. And then some of those hits might end up being home runs. So it could be a 30-homer third, who knows. Batting 5th is Francisco Lindor. Currently, no, he's actually second with home runs. With 16. 16 homers. So again, he's an elite defender. He's pretty much elite everywhere. On pace for 31 home runs, and 72 stolen bases. So really look like he's that's his all-star caliber for sure. And Silver Slugger should win another Silver Slugger. When's the last time he won? Last year. Should definitely win one this year. I think he's even having a better year. Average is the same. I would say it's a better year. He's already got more stolen bases, and his home runs are almost there at 16. He's halfway there, so yeah, I'd say he should definitely deserve it. His WAR is even already higher at 4.3. Playing really well. Batting number 6 is left fielder Rowdy Jordan. He's kept his job so far. Can't complain considering that he was Double A, went from Double A to the majors all in one swoop. And he's kind of kept it. He's kind of kept his job. Played in 55 games. Even though it's a little below average, his OPS, I think it's because he is playing well against righties, not so much against lefties, or he might have been able to even it out now. But he's got the tools to be good. What does he got? 26 stolen bases, so on pace for 51. Hits a pretty good average at 270 overall, and I can slide him to second if I need to. On occasion, I've had to do that, but for the most part, he's versatile enough to play left or center. But he's been mostly left lately. Catcher is Tomas Nido. He's had a pretty hot month, enough to warrant himself back into the lineup on a regular basis. And he's a good defender, so if he's able to hit like he's been hitting, you can see here that you can just see by the OPS the last few games that he's played. He's got one hit there for a double, another hit here, 2 hits here, 2 hits here, including 2 home runs in this game. That was kind of weird. He's not a home run hitter, so getting 2 home runs out of him really helped his cause. But again, he's a really good defender, so I can't complain too much, even if his OPS is below average, because he's definitely an above-average defender, so it evens out. And against Francisco Alvarez, really more time to relax as a DH. Batting number 8 is right fielder Drew Gilbert. Been really surprised with his play all year. He's kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't know if he's hitting that rookie wall or not. But as you can see, his OPS is now down to 680. And his average is 236, which is kind of It's not a really good average. But he's having a pretty decent rookie season. Was doing much better, but slowed down just a tad bit. Hopefully he can pick it up. He's got the tools. He's got the tools to be good, or better than what he's hitting right now. But for some reason, he's going through a little struggle. But he's only 23. And then batting number 9, my DH Francisco Alvarez did get his average kind of back up again, but it was closer to 300s earlier. But the home runs are getting there. 17 homers so far, on pace for 33. So and he's hitting really well. And then putting him on DH is going to help. It's going to help him get some much needed rest. Not having to catch every single week. Or every single day, rather. So that's the lineup. It's nothing like too exciting. As you can see, no one's playing at an elite level. No one's playing bad. They're either slightly below average, and that's kind of expected if you're a rookie. And the guy, and then of course Tomas, but he's also a catcher that's got really good defense. But everybody seems to be doing their job. It's needed in their role that they are. Did call up a couple of guys, some new faces. Jose Rondon. This is kind of my Peter Alonso switch up. I wanted another power guy. I don't know where he came from. 30 years old. I look here. I have no idea what this is. TIJ. Never heard of it. I don't even know what level that is. But and he's only played 9 games this year, was crushing it, as you can see here. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll call you up. I have no idea who you are, but you're able to steal bases. You're able to play all the positions, and you got this oddly weird 60 home run power. So, okay, come on in. Random 30-year-old guy that I've never heard of. Trace Thompson. Jet Williams got a call up. So eventually he's going to get an opportunity to make his MLB debut. He's played pretty well this year. Had him in Double-A where he was absolutely a beast. Slow down at Triple-A, so that's kind of what I expect he was going to end up doing at MLB. Probably slow down. But pretty exciting to have our number 17 prospect. Just 20 years old. And at some point he's going to make his MLB debut. And it's exciting. It's exciting to have somebody this good with an opportunity to play. Because he's versatile too. He can play infield or outfield. So it's just a matter of getting somebody tired, or maybe they're cold. So I'll give him a day off and let him play. I'm not one to worry about service time. So yeah, I'd start him a little early. I'm trying to win. So if he's going to help me win, then that's so be it. I'm not too concerned about where he is as far as service time is. And then Brendan Rodgers, I also called him up. He's really good against lefties on the season, because he's got as you can see here, he was hitting poorly, but that's because of righties. His lefty split was amazing. He was actually one of the better hitters against lefties in my entire team. So I'll let him play against the lefties, not so much against the righties. And he's got really good defense for a second baseman. Not quite the range. That's okay, though, but he's not going to make mistakes, and he's got a oddly decent arm. I mean, he's been a Gold Glove winner, so his defense has proven. But he's, again, like I said, he's against lefties. He's a little beast. He's a little monster, and he's still fairly young, 27. So that's the team. That's what we're doing. Hopefully, we can continue on the pace that we are. Keep winning and stay healthy, because I can't afford a pitching mistake or a pitching injury. That's where we're not deep. But let's take a look at the prospects. We do have some good-looking prospects now at pitching as well. All players. What is this? Here we go. Top prospects. So in the rookie league, we do have a starting pitcher. It's a scouting discovery. Looks pretty good. Looks like he's going to be my kind of guy in the future. He's going to have some good stuff. Really good control, and movement is going to be all right. We'll give it to him. So maybe I'll send him to the development lab and get him to work on his movement. Hopefully that will go up even higher. You really can't have enough pitching prospects, because pitchers are expensive. They're expensive, and I find them to be unreliable when it comes to the free agent market. And they're of course they're typically older. So you're signing a 29, 30-year-old plus guy to $15 to $20 million. And that's just a lot of money for an unreliable pitcher, because one, they get hurt and they're out forever. They could be out for months at a time. And two, they can be extremely unreliable. Pitchers are it's hard to get a pure ace and keep him as an ace. So if you can develop your own pitchers in-house, it's so much better. They're cheaper. You got way more control over them. And if you do lose them to free agency, you lose them when they're in their prime, but they're in their late 20s. If you played your cards right, you might have been able to sign them to an extension earlier, and they might leave you when they're in their early 30s. But yeah, so he looks like he's going to be a good one. He's got 3 solid future pitches, and he's going to get some good stuff and good control. Looking forward to seeing him develop in our system. And then we have another relief. Then we have a relief pitcher, David Landrew. Again, it looks like he's going to be pretty darn good. With him, I think I want to turn him into a starter. His stuff is going to be electric. projected to be 85 overall stuff. I know it makes more sense to make him a closer, but I would rather have him develop to be a starter because he's going to have actually, with this kind of stuff and that control, he's going to be a beast. And look at his pitches. He's got 5 pitches that are all really ridiculous. Just a sinker is an average ball. Everything else is above average, like either really good or elite. So I think a little more stamina here. So I'll see if he can develop this naturally, or if I have to kind of force it through the development lab. Which, thank goodness for the development lab. I hope stamina is something that can be increased to the lab, because it would be unfortunate if you couldn't. Because stretching out relievers to make them starters is something that happens in real life, and I would like to see this happen here because he's built to be a starter. 5-pitch repertoire. He's going to have electric stuff, good control, above average control. Might be a little prone to home runs, but he's still going to get his fair share of strikeouts. Then, I didn't even see how he's playing. I forgot to tell you how these guys are playing. He's actually playing this guy's playing at elite level. I'm going to keep my prospects that are appearing in the Summer League and Dominican Summer League all year, no matter how good he's playing. No promotion. He'll be in the if he continues this level of play, he'll be in the complex next year. But for this year, it's a full year of Dominican Summer Ball. No moving up and down. Just stay there and play there. But he's playing at elite level right now. 1.45 ERA is ridiculous, especially for a 16-year-old. And then David Lindus, he's currently with a 0 ERA. With a 14.4 strikeout rate, hasn't given up 0 home runs. He's pretty nasty. And then I have Daniel Juarez, who I ended up promoting from AA to AAA. It's not because he's an elite prospect. I don't know what he won Player of the Month or something, or Player of the Week. I think in High A or Low A, one of the A's. And I've kind of been watching him just to see what he does, because he's not overwhelming here, but he's just solid enough to where it piqued my interest, and he's playing really well. So High A, 0.71, Double A was 169, and he's maintaining it. I mean, it took him 21 innings. He's still keeping it, so I figured, heck, why not? So I promoted him to AAA. If he can continue this elite level of play, he could see himself called up in August. Catcher Kevin Parada, still playing at elite level, but we just don't have space for him on the roster. And again, he's not providing anything that I don't already have. I don't imagine his offense will be that great, at least not yet. Although I don't think he'll ever be great. I think he'll have good to decent offense. And his defensive ability right now, if ever, is not that great either. So there's just really no sense in calling him up. In this instance, yes, I don't want to waste his service time, because I don't imagine he'll be able to stay up. So unless somebody gets hurt, like Tomas or Francisco Alvarez, he will unfortunately be stuck at AAA. Then we have first baseman Matt Mervis. Thought he was going to be able to get called up, but since I had enough first basemen already, I went more with guys. I went more with someone who had a power. That's why I ended up calling Jose Rendon. So with him, again, he's kind of stuck here. I have enough first basemen in the majors that it just doesn't. I'm not that enticed to call him up. So I think eventually these guys might get traded for something that I need. Maybe something how Baltimore did with Milwaukee. trade some prospects and see if you can get yourself an ace pitcher. I don't know if the AI will fall for that. I feel like the AI here is a little tougher in some instances than in real life, as they don't value high-end prospects as much. Addison Barger, he did get called up, but I pretty much sent him right back down. He struggled. He had a tough time. In the 8 games that he appeared, he's got a 438 OPS, 138 average. He did hit a home run, though. Had a few RBI. I think his first game he did pretty well. But after that, he kind of fell off. Just too much for him. 11 strikeouts in 8 games. To 2 walks. Just really, the game is a little too quick for him right now. But never say never. Someone that's as versatile as him does have a place. Will I trade him? I don't know, because he's also young. He's still young enough. Because I like this. I like the fact that he can play anywhere in the infield. So we'll see how he does. Third baseman Brett Batty, again, he's one of those guys that's having a tough. The reason why it's tough for him is Mark Vientos is playing so well at third base. It's kind of made it where Brett Batty he's kind of being blocked. And considering how unversatile he is, he's only capable of playing third base right now. He's just not enticing to call up, because he's either third base or nothing. And that's just, for me, it's not enough to roster him on the 26 man. I need all 13 of those bats. Need to have a little more use. So at this point, I'm starting to think who of these top prospects, because as you can see, most of them are AA or AAA. A lot of them are AAA, and they could be stuck there because they're blocked. Now I see how Baltimore feels, where you just have so many good prospects, which is nice to have, but they're blocked off by other good guys. In AA, left fielder Luis Angel Acuna, still having a solid above-average season. So he's developing extremely steady. Like, he's playing just well enough to where you're not moving him up too quickly, because he's not excelling at that kind of rate. Because his 811 OPS it's above average in his league, but it's only AA. So I imagine AAA he'll struggle a little more, and of course the majors he's well off. But next year he should be in AAA, and which means he'll just be right there on the door knocking. But again, he's going to run into the same problems all the other guys. He's going to be blocked by people that are better than him. And then we have left fielder Jet Williams. We know about him. Just called him up to the majors. And then right fielder Ryan Clifford in AA. I don't know if you guys have this issue in your game, but do you guys have all your minor league, like, it seems like every single day now I get an email about someone getting suspended for a fight. Are there that many? I don't follow minor leagues baseball games that much. Are there that many fights in the minors that they get suspended every single week? Someone's suspended. I have to look that up, because it's just strange. I shit you not. I think in the month of June I got like 15 emails telling me I got 2 guys suspended for fighting. I was like, okay, so they're fighting every game. It's confusing to me. But he's playing really well. I thought about promoting him, but decided against it, since he wants to be Mr. Fight. He wants to be in the Fight Club. So I just kept him down in AA. But he's doing really well. 18 homers. On pace for 33. He is a home run machine. I mean, look at that. He's got 18. He's got 13 in low A and 18 in AA. Which is insane. He's just a home run machine. It's kind of all he is, really, his power. But again, he's going to run into the same problem as all my prospects. He's just going to be blocked off from going anywhere. And then AAA, I have Stanley Konsuger. As I remember him, this is the guy I called up because he played so well. He caught my eye. But right now he lost favor. Struggled in the majors, but does well in the minors. So he'll hang around. But he's definitely on the low end of that importance ladder as far as a prospect is concerned. And of course, we know about Drew Gilbert. He's in the majors. So that is for the prospects. So not a bad looking list of guys there. Just a ton of depth at the AAA, AA level, to the point to where I have to consider moving guys because they're just getting blocked off from people that are better than them in the majors, who are more versatile than they are, and to me are more valuable. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. The next video will be two and for one almost. It'll be, of course, the recap of July and also the draft, which is up in less than 2 weeks. So we'll see you at the end of July.